and welcome to How Ines Rolls. Ever have a really lazy day and just really don't want to make any dinner? Do you want to see what I'm doing for dinner? And we have people coming over. It's about 3 o'clock and I need to get started. Fortunately, we have some leftover barbecue chicken from the graduation. We've had it in the freezer, so that will be our main part of the course, or our meal. I wanted to have some side dishes that weren't just like fried potatoes or, potato salad. I'm kind of all barbecued out. So I thought I would make butter noodles. Not like when we were kids where you just cook up the noodles and add some butter and be done with it. This is like a recipe and I loved it, and I had some little bit of garlic powder in it, so I want to add all of that in, and so it's super easy still, but it has some depth to the flavor. So I'll have that as my side dish and I'll be showing you that. Plus we'll have some other sides. So let me get going on this. You can tell I have things going and getting ready. Our company's coming at 5 o'clock, and I'll tell you right now, they are the missionaries for our church. They're young women that are going to be, they don't really care what they eat as long as they get fed. So I don't really, it doesn't have to be elaborate. It's just, easy peasy. An easy part to our meal is this toasted bread. I love doing this. I actually try to follow the Pioneer Woman's recipe with making this. She likes to almost burn it because it almost gives it like a Parmesan tasting taste to the bread, which is super good, but it uses a lot of butter. So I wanted to cut back on some of that butter, and I just kind of lightly go over it, and I just toast it up as much as I think is great, because a couple of times I've made it extra crispy like that, and literally our company thought I burned it. So I'm like, no, it's supposed to be like that. So anyways, this is what we're having for dinner on this is a Friday night. So I would love to know what you're having for dinner tonight, and what's an easy go-to meal for your family. It could be like Taco Bell, I don't care, but I'm so curious what everybody's having out there tonight, or just your go-to meal. I do like having out some little snacks for the summer, and like I just had some cantaloupe out on the counter, and it was devoured. Just with little boys, they love it, and me too. Okay, so let me get this in the oven, and then we'll go on to the next thing. I'm just making an easy salad. It's one of these we're having 2 of these kits, and like I said, these ones I love the best when they have like everything in it, and then I don't have to worry about buying everything. So I'm the only one who likes dressing, so I hope our guests will help me eat eat the dressing with it. Gross, huh? Drink. Ugh. Okay, so I'm gonna put the cheese in there, and boom, Caesar salad is done. I love butter noodles. I remember having them as a kid, and I've made it many times for my kids. Just the easy way, of course, just making some noodles with some butter on it. Maybe if I was fancy, I'd put a little bit of sprinkled Parmesan. But this recipe that I found online, it gives a lot more depth because you are going to use bouillon. So the original recipe says to boil in a can of chicken broth, then add an extra water cup, and then an added bouillon cube. So it makes it a little saltier. And I know for my friends that are watching, there are some that are heart healthy, so they would probably not do the broth, or maybe a low sodium broth, or maybe just do water. But so I opted, because I'm very sensitive to salty food, that I'm just going to put water and then the bouillon cube. So I'm omitting the whole broth part anyway. So I'm just going to add this Better Than bouillon that I got from Costco. I love this. It's turning out to be a really good bouillon. So I usually use the cubes. You've probably seen me use them and throw them into recipes, but this is really good. So 1 teaspoon is 1 cube. And then I'm just going to add that to the water and make sure it's mixed in really well. And to my water, I already have a stick of butter, so I'm doubling the recipe. You can see the bags in the back there. I'm gonna do 2. And then if we have leftovers, I'm just going to keep them in the fridge and let the boys just eat it over the weekend. So I like to have extras because that's just how I do it, how I roll. So we're gonna bring this up to a boil and add the noodles in for 8 minutes and then just stir, stir, stir. So I'll bring this closer so you can see. It's come to a boil, so I'm just gonna add my noodles and I'm going to set the timer for 8 minutes because I'm gonna constantly be stirring these. So this liquid, the broth, the butter broth, is going to absorb into the noodles. So it smells good already and I can't wait to try it because I'm sure the way that I was making it before was mediocre compared to what this is gonna taste like. Okay, so it's mostly come to a complete done. Looks good. And so I had to add a little bit more butter to it. And now I'm just adding, I'm turning down the temperature because I think it's going a little too fast, but that's okay. I'm gonna add some more butter and I'm gonna add some garlic. So this will give it a nice, good flavor. And I can't forget a little bit of parsley. Just a tiny bit. Okay, that smells delish. And then I'm just gonna put it in a nice dish with the meat in it. It's gonna be so good. Yum, yum. And here's dinner. Look, it's piping hot. It's like, well, it smells so good. Okay, so buttered noodles, they came out wonderful. And the only thing is I didn't get extra wide noodles. I don't know if that mattered, but they did tend to break down a tiny little bit. But that's okay. They are still super yummy. And the chicken, divine. I mean, come on. Paul is a great griller. And so all I did was just reheat. And so, you know, those days where you're just not really wanting to make dinner, this is a really, really easy dinner and it's very flavorful. Thanks for stopping by and you never know what I'll be rolling out next. So here's our dinner. It's getting ready. They're about to come. So we just have some lemonade to drink. I already start putting some on our plates because it just makes it easier to start passing it around. And there's the salad and I cut up the breadsticks so they're all ready in here. So I can't wait to eat it. I'm already hungry. So it's a super, super yummy meal.